Hello, all my race fans. Welcome back to Thursdays with Apex, this race league. We're doing the big one, the LMP2s and the GTEs here at the Brickyard to wrap up our time here. Just watching Ty Johnson complete a couple laps. He is currently top of the timing boards at the moment. There he is, joined in the 116 club, amazing, with Eric Culliga, followed by Tyler Pierre Richards. Pick up your top three in the LMP2 class, and there's Darian Roy just ahead of Ty Johnson there. That is, he's actually just slightly slower than some of these GTEs, with Kent Kruger going fastest overall for the GTEs, followed by Corey Mitchell. Very surprising there. But we saw it last night with the mixed class racing that this track with the slow parts really brought the cars together there. Let's go on board. Good tie for a lap here. Comes around the pit straight to complete that last one. Brakes at that very last little marker on the fence to the left. Just up to third gear, braking so late into this one. Down to second. And this you can go flat out into fourth. You gotta get back over to the right. Down to second gear, he gets a whop of understeer mid-corner, which is kind of favorable. It'll give you a chance to get that late apex back over to the left so you can make that right-hander and get on the gas for this back straight section. Down to third and then down to second for the right-hander. Let's see if he goes. He does go down to first for this little one. Gets it nice and tight and stays on the left so he can get a good exit out of that final slow turn before going on to NASCAR 2 here. Getting right up next to the left wall. Keeps it in the way he can go flat out around NASCAR 1. And that's a 1:17.7, although he was flying. A little slowed up by the traffic ahead of him here. Here is Corey Mitchell at the front of this little train. Currently second fastest in the GT class. I guess that is Michael Johnson, who is the lead LM car here. Running sort of a German flag paint scheme. But then again, stripes this way, bars down. Could be a number of countries. And there's, Darian Roy finding the grassy section. We have not seen Vincent Wood or Michael Bond complete a lap for us, but they are in the lobby currently. And just under 2 minutes to go left in this practice. It is Ty Johnson, top of the standings, and Kent Kruger, fastest for the GT class. Take a quick look at that race info today. As always, we got a 40-minute race coming up with a 50% fuel cap, mandating a pit stop somewhere around 25 to 30 minutes into this race. And here is Steven Martinez practicing said pit stop, which is very smart. Unlike me, I'm just going to ram myself into the wall, on the invisible wall that is in the pit lane further infield than this one. Track temp currently only 88 out there. We'll check it again after qualifying. And we're going to hop right into that qualifying session now. As we wait for these guys to get out on track, it doesn't look like anybody has left the pit lanes yet. Darian Roy has found the track early. So as Kent Kruger, who was fastest overall in practice. Actually, I saw quite a number of Ferraris like Lincoln Russell and Federico Del Toro, also pretty fast, but they were also up towards the front, the three Ferraris, having a lot of success and grip around this track. Tyler Pierre Richards running the McLaren paint again. It's papaya, they say, is the color. I'm a McLaren fan. I like it. I think it's a good livery to have. And here is Kent Kruger coming around to start his first hot lap. It's a nice conservative turn in for turn one. He knows he's got many laps to do here, as he's already on his first hot lap before 2 minutes are up. It's a really tricky one to get there. It's always just a touch longer than you think it's going to be. This is Kent Kruger to finish his first hot lap. Let's see if it was clean enough. It was. It's a 1:22.953. Not a bad time to start off with. Eric Kulliga first across the line for the LMP2 class with a 1:19.6. He's definitely going to be able to go a bit faster than that. Federico Del Toro and Michael Mersberger across the line, second and third for the GT class, just as Lincoln Russell slots into second. Troy Banks, second place for him with a 1:17.9. Tyler Pierre Richards is in pole position for the moment with a 1:17.0. Steven Martinez slots into second place just ahead of Troy Banks. Michael returns to the pits to readjust something. Ty Johnson Oh, he's right into the 116s from the get-go with a 116.815. Very good. It's only a couple tenths off of his best practice time on his first hot lap out there. That is good to see that it's also consistent. Ken Kruger betters his time by 3/10. Bjorn Benches goes into the 116s into second place, bumping everybody down. Eric Culliga does a 117.177 to get into fourth place. Vincent Wood only good enough for a 118. Troy Banks goes up to fifth as Michael Johnson slots into seventh place in the LMP2s. Michael Culliga goes second fastest. Matthew Morehart, second fastest, slotting right alongside Kent Kruger in the GTE class. Only 3/10 off of the GT pole position at the moment. Ty Johnson goes even faster, 116.5. He's getting very, very close to his best practice time at the moment. Mike Lemon, we're still waiting for a lap from him. He goes sixth fastest for his class. Ken Kruger returns to the pit lane. Thinks that's as good as he's going to do. It's not a bad time. Vincent Wood does better with a 117.7. That slots him into sixth. Then he has an off track, unfortunately. Michael Johnson does a 117 flat. That's good enough for fourth, relegating Eric Culliga down a little bit. Tyler Pierre Richards currently sitting in third position, leading the second row. Michael Culliga getting a little bit closer to his brother with seventh place there. Troy Banks currently splits them in sixth. Ty Johnson goes faster yet again. Very nice to see the consistency out front, as is going to be needed, as it looks like there are some very fast drivers behind him. A couple guys in the 116s to join him, as Eric Culliga was the only other driver getting into the 116s during practice. Corey practicing his pit lane entrance here. Oh goodness. Back onto the track. No, he's practicing that pit entrance here. Probably a good call. Bjorn Benches returns to the pits, not able to do any better. Let's also take a little look at the intervals between these guys. Oh, and just 12 1/1000ths off of the front row. Here is Tyler Pierre Richards trying to knock Bjorn Benches down. He's got just enough time to swing another lap too, I believe, if he needs to. Here's Tyler Pierre Richards deciding to practice his pit lane entrance instead of completing this lap. He was not ahead on his Delta. Michael Culliga and Michael Johnson still on track. Perhaps feeling they can better their times as the top four now sit in the 116s. He is not able to do better. He's quite a bit behind from his best time. Mike Lemon remains on the track in the final minute of qualifying, currently sitting in 6th. Sorry, 6/10 off of Federico Del Toro ahead of him. So it's quite an ask to make up a bunch of that time. And he is not able to go faster either. So let's take a quick look at the race grid. We have Ty Johnson, very justly so, on pole position, followed by Bjorn Benches. Tyler Pierre Richards and Michael Kulliga occupy the 2nd row. Michael Johnson's in 5th, followed by Eric Kulliga. Troy Banks and Steven Martinez is in 8th. Vincent Wood and Darian Roy wrap out the top 10 for us, and then we're right into the GT class with Kent Kruger on pole position, followed by Matthew Morehard. And then we have Corey Mitchell and Lincoln Russell lining up on row 2, followed by Federico Del Toro. Mike Lemon, Michael Mersberger is in 17th, followed by Valerie Asensio, and we will see if Paul Simmons Ochoa, Michael Bond, and Darrell Washington join us, but they did not set any qualifying times during the session. Have a few minor casualties to report already as Federico Del Toro and Darian Roy and Michael Johnson, who I believe was on row 3, the LMP2s, all failed to make the starting grid. So they're sitting in the pit lane alongside Valerie Asensio as well. So they will have to start from the pit lane if they do join us. And coming around NASCAR 1. That Porsche pace car is going to come in. We're all waiting for Ty Johnson to take us racing around the Brickyard here. And we are off. Tyler Pierre Richards getting a great jump back from third position. Takes the inside of Bjorn Benches. Hey, what's up, man? And gets second place into the first corner back in the GTE class. It's pretty much as you were, as everybody seems to make it through turns 1 and 2 and 3 pretty cleanly. Back up top, Bjorn Bench is still in third place, as Michael Bond finds the gravel pits around turn 4. Ty Johnson still in the lead of this race, finding speed into his tires. And except for Ty Johnson and Bjorn, it's as you were at the top. It looks like Paul Simmons Ochoa is on grid, and he follows everybody through and makes up a couple positions off the get-go. Darrell Washington and Darian Roy are not with us at the moment. The top 3 are starting to pull off a little bit. We will see how positive the slipstream is here, with Troy Banks just a 10th behind Steven Martinez. Trying to give him something to think about. Brakes early. And Steven does not hit the apex of turn 1. This is going to put Troy right on his heels now. A little bit further back, Michael Mersberger battling with Lincoln Russell just ahead of him. And Matthew Morehart is putting Ken Kruger under a bunch of pressure, as Corey Mitchell has taken the lead of the race, or the lead of the class anyways, as Ken does not get a great exit out of turn 3, that looks like, and has to concede the inside to Corey, who has had a ton more grip through that section. And now he's got to deal with the Porsche of Matthew Morehart, who also started on the front row with him, as Corey Mitchell makes up a couple positions and now leads the GT class. Ty Johnson not necessarily able to pull away from Tyler Pierre Richards. It's 0.4 at the moment, and the slipstream looks very powerful around here, as it looks like Steven Martinez is actually pulled up to Eric Kulliga, and Troy Banks is there in the background, 1.3 behind them at the moment. Vincent Wood another 1.3 back. As Corey Mitchell, nice and easy, he's got a 1.4 second lead over the rest of the pack. And that's Michael Mersberger taking to the inside of Lincoln and getting the job done, as Lincoln has to lift slightly. Stays ahead for that tight left-hander. Corey now 2 seconds into the lead for this class. Ken Kruger wasn't able to find that speed with those cold tires, and here Troy Banks is finally going wheel to wheel with Steven Martinez. He's going to have the inside, as they both hold onto it full throttle flat out through this section. Troy Banks did not have the right aero set up the other night, and it cost him. And he just wants to keep his nose in there, and he tries so hard to do it. And Matthew is there getting past Kent Kruger. But Kent is fighting back. We will see if this is another drag race finale. A good photo finish. Oh, as Kent just has to get out of the gas there. He wanted to turn in because he was going so hot. But there was a car there. Ty Johnson has earned himself a 1.2 second advantage over Tyler Pierre Richards. And those two have pulled off a little bit from Bjorn Benches, who's currently 1.4 behind Tyler. But that slipstream just cuts it down for Tyler to 0.5 seconds almost for a moment. And this looks like it's going to favor Troy Banks into turn one, and he's got the job done. Bjorn still holding off Michael Kulliga. Kent using that slipstream to stay within spitting distance of Matthew Morhart ahead of him, and hopefully be able to push him into some sort of mistake in the infield. But Matthew looks very solid around this tight, twisted track. Lincoln Russell still trailing Michael Merzberger. I was saying these Ferraris were looking good, but these the pack of bees that is the RSR is getting past them. Ty Johnson's lead is down to 0.3 as we come onto the straights. And Tyler takes the lead. He just looks like he has so much speed. He can almost get back over to the racing line. But Michael Kulliga has to concede his battle for yet another lap. This is a view on board with Michael. Takes to a very inside line. He apexes the whole thing. Sort of sacrificing a lot of speed, trying to stay out of the aerodynamics of Bjorn. These guys are starting to get lapped. And Tyler's got himself a 0.7 gap. That should be good enough to hold off of the charging slipstream of Ty Johnson, who doesn't. He stays about 0.7 the entire way down the straight. So I wonder if Tyler is running a lot less downforce than some of these other guys. Oh, so Paul Simmons Ochoa has an issue. Coming into turn 3 here, and just the braking zone for turn 4 is a little difficult, but he manages to hold it, keeps the car going the right direction. Now Troy Banks pulling up to the back of Eric Kulliga, who's running in 5th at the moment. The Kulliga brothers usually have such good speed with these LMP2s. We see them towards the front of the pack quite often. Here's Ty Johnson, 0.55 behind, but not really climbing all that much like we saw Tyler, who just breezed past him on the straights. Ty's got to push him into some mistakes in field here, where he should have a bit more grip. Vincent Wood getting ahead of Steven Martinez, outbraking him into turn 1. And 10 minutes done with this race. You guys are starting to get into a little flow now. Check on their personal lap times. And that is Steven Martinez. Back past Vincent Wood there. But Vincent's giving him the time of it. Has a bit more speed down the straights. Vincent Wood has an off into turn 1. And Troy Banks starting to fall a little behind Eric Culliga here. Back in the GTs, Roy Mitchell continues his lead with a 2.9-second lead from Evan Warhart, who is not really able to catch back up to him. And Ken Kruger is another 2 seconds back, as Michael Mersberger is starting to get back past him. Michael Johnson running very far behind. Having failed to grid with us, he might have started from the pit lane a lap down. Michael Mersberger making it within a second of Kent Kruger ahead. These Porsches are seemingly working for these guys here, but then again, there's Corey Mitchell up top with the vet as always. Here's Paul Simmons and Troy. Oh, he gets tagged by Eric Culliga there, and that's Troy Banks making his way through just ahead of them. Saw it all go down, and that's going to be a bummer for Eric, who will have some damage because of that, surely. But it is, we are about 13 minutes into this race. It is late enough to make a pit stop if you need to. Get all of your refueling done, but I think he's going to ride it out for the time being. He dropped down to 6th, which is where he grid, I believe. And yeah, I believe it was Michael Johnson he was going to grid next to in 5th, and Troy Banks, having started in 7th, I believe, is now up to that spot in 5th. It's got to be a little frustrating for Ty Johnson, who was so consistently fast. Only good enough for a 1:17.3 as he was knocking down mid-116s one after another. And Tyler did not find the speed until the race. And the setups really come to him. Feels much more at ease with a full tank of fuel, I suppose. But he is now 2.5 seconds down the road and not being bothered by Ty Johnson at all. Bjorn Benches is still in 3rd from the very first corner of this race. He's got 2 seconds up on Michael Kulliga, who in turn has 3.5 above Troy Banks, who is now slotted up to 5th place. GT's having to deal with some early lapping, or it seems that way. It's a LMP2 car making its way through the field after starting from the back and mixing it up a little bit for them. I think this should favor Kent Kruger, as Michael will have to wait until the straights to pass him now. So he hold up Michael Mersberger just slightly for him, make it a lot easier on Kent Kruger. That is Tyler Pierre Richards coming through and lapping some of these cars now, though. It's Lincoln Russell in 5th place, as well as Michael Mersberger in 4th place, who expected him to outbrake him a little bit more and tried to turn in a little bit too soon. Get past these guys. Not have them hold you up too much, as Ty Johnson gets passed by Bjorn Benches somewhere. Oh, and he just goes wide in that big left-hander. It's so easy to get that one wrong. Bjorn Benches also falling back a little bit, having a little bit more difficulty getting through these GT cars. Now Ty Johnson's only 0.4 behind. He's got to battle to stay with that 2nd place. Coming up to the back of Michael Johnson, I believe that is, who is a lapped car of his own. Is that what I'm seeing there? Oh no, that's the back of Kent Kruger. And now Ty Johnson. He's got a great view of all of Bjorn's LMP2. He lets him off slightly. They're very tricky corners. I really think this is the place to push someone into a mistake if you're going to on the infield, because it's one after another, and if you just distract somebody for a little bit, push them into a big mistake and get a wheel in there. Vincent Wood still staying behind Steven Martinez. Not exactly able to shake each other. And then in between the two classes at the moment, the 54-second gap ahead is Michael Johnson, running a little bit lonely at the moment, as Michael Mersberger is into the grass. He drops down to 4th. Sorry, he was in 4th, but where is Lincoln Russell to pick up the pieces? It's really sort of nowhere to be found. Michael is finding it difficult to get back on track. He'll take the most direct route, I believe. There's Lincoln Russell, just 0.3 behind. So should have some dirtier and colder tires after being off track for just a moment. And Bjorn Bench is able to pull 1.2 ahead of Ty Johnson and shake that tail for the time being. He just has to make sure he has no mistakes either, because you know, 1.5 seconds can be easily lost in even a small mistake. Lincoln Russell pushing at the moment, trying to stay with Michael, knowing that this could be a place made back, or at least a race to be had. We are 20 minutes done with this race. These guys will start thinking about their pit stops soon. And there is Ty Johnson gratefully using the pick of Corey Mitchell to stave off Michael Kulliga, who you can see in the background there, and is gaining on him, only 1.4 behind. Michael Mersberger has another off track to invite Lincoln Russell again. He's going real wide at this left-hander, and Lincoln has got the place back. But he did well to keep it out of the grass. There's a whole lot of debris and just crud out there. It's not the place to be. You just want to slow the car down and keep it on track so it can stay within 0.3 of Lincoln Russell and keep this battle going. He's only 0.4 behind, but he's not really gaining on Lincoln Russell. Lincoln Russell's almost pulling away just by a couple 100ths on this straight. He pulled ahead by about a 10th by the end of that straight. So turn one is going to be a very difficult one for this particular portion to make, lacking that top speed. Just behind them in sixth, that's Michael Lemon, who's seeing this battle go down. Oh, goodness, and Michael Mersberger tries to outbrake Lincoln Russell, and Lincoln Russell has to go real wide. Might get better speed and grip going down this straight. This is a great little battle for fourth place in GTE. Ty Johnson comes into the pit lanes for his pit stop. It's a beautiful little battle here, and that brings Mike Lemon into play, just a second behind now. And already we see Steven Martinez, Eric Kulliga, and longest overall, Ty Johnson with a 15-second stop through the pit lane. Michael took to the inside, but then came back to the racing line. Nope, excuse me there. I was looking for Ty Johnson, who comes and exits the pits just behind Mike Lemon there. And that's going to give him some work to do. That makes one GT car down. And Lincoln sees him coming and is giving him some space on the outside. Ty wants to get that done by the end of the straights here. Oh, and that's Michael Mersberger not able to deal with that last minute pass by Ty Johnson, going a little bit wide and losing that place back. Oh, and that's Vincent Wood skating across turns 1 and 2, I believe. And that's Corey Mitchell, and Matthew Morhart has finally caught up to him. And we are 15 seconds down, so we will see a couple of these guys start to come into the pit lane soon. And that's Michael trying to outbrake Lincoln again. And they go side to side. Lincoln's going to have it. Very well held Lincoln. Michael tries to cut back on him, but he's just not going to have the grip. And Lincoln's going to have the inside of turn 4 again. Michael having some great speed here, but not having great success at this next corner. Takes to the inside and actually finds the grip there. Perhaps gets on the gas too early. And oh, Lincoln back on the inside. Side by side, this racing is great. And it looks like Eric Kulliga there is getting a front row seat to it all. Tries to go on the inside of these guys, and he's going to get it done. And now Lincoln is the one to go slightly wide, and Michael can fight back. These guys are just going at it, and there's the first bit of contact we've seen so far. Pretty amazing that they were able to keep it together for so long, and that invites Mike Lemon into the picture. Who is coming into the pit lane after watching enough of this battle. He is the first of the GT cars to come in. Tyler Pierre Richards with a 7.3 second lead over Bjorn Benches in second place. Really well done. That battle for first in the GT class is still raging as Corey Mitchell is just holding on from Matthew Morhart. Michael Mersberger has a little off track. I wonder if he had to give up some time or not. But these guys are still going at it. It's the best action on track, some of the best action we've seen all season. Oh, and Michael just able to hold on to it as he goes flat out full throttle around that turn. One of the only times you really get to go through the gears on this infield section. Corey's going to take to the inside to defend that line and try to break the toe because Matthew is gaining on him on the straights. Just during this slow corners. Oh, as Matthew walks up slightly. You just hear that pack of bees follow him around. He's going slowly through these corners. You really hear the car behind and its engine getting closer. Lincoln with that speed down the pit straight. Off it, decides to fight with him another day because it's been a grand old fight so far. That was Mike Lemon with an 11.3 second stop. It was a little early for the a handful of people actually gassing up so far. I'm sure these LMP2 runners will come in first. This is an awkward line for Michael Mersberger, who locks up slightly. Gets out of there. Oh! He has not been reviewed, thank God. He's just having some connection issues. We have some guys in the pit lane at the moment. Bjorn in there for a 15.4 second stop. Tyler Pierre Richards exits with only 13.8 there. Michael Kulliga exits just ahead of, it looks like, excuse me, who was that? That was Michael Johnson, but I think he might be a lap down from those guys. Michael Kulliga now at 6.7 ahead of his brother post pit stops. We see Ken Kruger also in the pit lane with a 7.2 second stop, so about half the time of the LMP2 runners stationary in the pits. Michael Mersberger decides to come in. And he's in there for quite some time. He's getting tires too, it looks like. And playing that one out as we have only 10 minutes remaining in this battle here. And that's Tyler Pierre Richards lapping the leader of the GT class, plus a pit stop, so he's waiting out in front there. And Michael Mersberger is in there for a really long time. Corey has a whole lot to think about at the moment. Ty Johnson gets past Troy Banks. He's up to 3rd place again. But we might be waiting for Troy to come into the pits. No, we're not. He was in there only for 11.5 seconds. That's the wonders for his race. Brought him into contention with Ty Johnson. To the pit, see if he can't beat Corey. His pit lane entrance and risky fuel strategy. Ty has to take the inside. Troy Banks nudges just ahead. We're going to go in here side by side. Ty almost tags the rear end of Troy Banks when his car is fully loaded and almost loses it. And Troy Banks is up into a podium position after that brave move into turn 2. But Ty Johnson's going to stay with him. Surely phase of the race. We have about 8 minutes on the clock, so I imagine he would and try to get him into a mistake to run up on some traffic now. And that's actually Bjorn Benches in 2nd position, just ahead of Troy, who's getting held up by Corey Mitchell. Matthew Morard, did he get a speeding violation coming in there? He has been in the pit lanes for ages. And that has just spoiled his chance of competing for the lead of the GT class, or even probably a podium for him. And there's Bjorn. He's just going to struggle with a lot of traffic here at the moment. I believe that's Lincoln Russell just ahead of him. It is. And Lincoln Russell losing out to Mike Lemon, who is now up into 3rd position for the GTs. And Lincoln Russell being very nice about the train of LMP2 front runners there, and really losing out to Mike Lemon, who is not so nice. And let these guys negotiate their way around it. And that's Ty Johnson is following 1.3 off the pace, just as I said he was going to stay with Troy Banks here. Troy Banks will stay with Benches. This is the battle for 2nd. Having started in 7th place. We can see Matthew Morhart and Michael Mersberger with very long pit stops. Michael Mersberger has had to retire from the race. But Michael Bond with a long pit stop as well as Valerie Arsencio. He's really dropped them to the back of the pack at the moment. Russell was caught back up to Mike Lemon. Trying to get that final podium position. Currently, Kent Kruger running in second place in class. He's got a nice gap to the cars around him. Troy Banks still pushing Bjorn Benches into the final 5 minutes here. Looks like these tires are only about 1.3 off of the pace of their best times out there. I'm sure that the tire wear is definitely being felt by these guys by the end of this long 40-minute stint. So I'm sure the braking points are changing appropriately. And that's Troy Banks braking very late, giving Bjorn something to think about, trying to get the cutback. This is the turn to get the cutback at a turn 2 there. And he almost loses it, getting so much grip. He falls back towards Ty Johnson just slightly. Oh, and there's Michael Culliga with an issue. His brother just skates past him as he seems to lock up and go a little bit wide. Troy Banks, after that cutback maneuver, and couldn't find the grip for the rear tires anymore, going very slowly out of turn 2. He's now got Ty Johnson to deal with yet again. Bjorn not looking quite as strong as the rest of them on the straights. Just a touch slower, so I wonder if it will be a drag race for second place in the LMP2s, if that could be a strategy for Troy Banks here, as Kent Kruger goes wide to the racing line and forcing these guys on the inside. Ty Johnson just scooting in ahead of them. Really stack up and provide a spectacle for the end of this race with his final podium positions. Tyler Pierre Richards still out front, taking it very easily. Over 3.3 seconds off his best pace last lap. Oh, and that's Ty Johnson all over Troy Banks, who struggled to get a little bit of grip out of those slow ones. And this could be an opportunity for both Ty Johnson and Troy Banks, using that slipstream. And Ty Johnson just getting a ton of speed. They're almost going 3 wide. And I think the order is going to stay as is. Oh, as Bjorn goes almost a little bit wide, cutting across the racing line, trying to cut everybody off. Ty Johnson almost gets a wheel in. They're going to narrow there as Troy finds out and goes wide. Ty Johnson sneaks through. And with 30 seconds on the clock, this is the moment to make things happen. Ty is now occupying the final podium position. I wonder if he will make a move to try to go for second place or not. That might just open up a door for Troy Banks to come through. And I don't quite know who the car is ahead of them. Could be Valerie Asensio as Troy comes around. And oh, we're going to have yet another lap as Tyler just crosses the line before time runs out. Is he on board with Troy Banks? Having to get right out, braking too hard, trying to get the cutback any way possible on Ty, but knowing that Ty is looking for the same opening on Bjorn ahead. We're being pretty conservative on these last couple turns and laps, it seems. Maybe he's just turning the wheel and isn't getting the grip that he wants. He knows that it's just not safe to go for anything too risky at the moment. Bjorn Benches showing real grit to hold it together in these last few laps when he has been caught but not passed by either Ty Johnson or Troy Banks as Tyler Pierre Richards comes across the line. Corey Mitchell looked like just ahead of him there. I don't know if he's going to have to do another lap or not as the leader of the GT. And Bjorn Benches holds off Ty Johnson for second place. Troy Banks finishes in fourth. Go do a couple NASCAR laps. Eric Culligan is going to cross the line in fifth, and he is followed by his brother in sixth place. Let's check on the GT leader, as it looks like Corey Mitchell is having to do another lap, having crossed the line just before Tyler Pierre Richards. He should bring this one home. At the rest of the G2 runners. Ken Kruger beautifully brings it home in second. Mike Lemon holds on to finish in third from seventh place on the grid. Very well done. Lincoln Russell brings it home in fourth, and Matthew Morehart is good enough for sixth. Corey Mitchell completes his lap and sets us up for picture day. We got Tyler Pierre Richards, who was able to just peel away with some great race pace and win this race from the second row. Bjorn Benches follows him into second place. Ty Johnson falls back, unfortunately, to third, but still on the podium. Troy Banks just loses out for that final podium position to Ty and finishes in fourth. Then we have Eric Culligan followed by Michael Culligan in sixth. Vince Wood in seventh, Stephen Martinez in eighth. And then we get into the GT runners. We have Corey Mitchell and Michael Johnson having started a lap down, almost making his way back up to the LMP2 class. Ken Kruger comes in second, and Mike Lemon rounds out the GT podium. Then we have Lincoln Russell, Matthew Morehart, Michael Bond, Valerie Arsencio, Michael Mersberger, Paul Simmons at Showa, and that is it for our runners this evening. It's an awesome race here at the Brickyard. Thank you everybody for joining us once again. subscribe and hit that little bell button an even number of times.